Greetings, Fire Chargers, Darkblade here, and this is episode 2 of our series on when the Exodus happened. In this video, I'm going to be covering the Mythicist position, which basically says that the Exodus didn't happen. The problem with this position is that there is a lot of evidence that it is just completely false. We have the complete abandonment of the Semitic city of Avaris in the Egyptian far north, and there's also a bunch of new settlements that pop up in Canaan about a half century later, some of them being distinctly Israelites. We also see the book of Exodus in its original Hebrew has 26 loanwords from the ancient Egyptian languages, and there's 333 occurrences in total. This amounts to 1.391% of the total word count. This is uniquely high amongst ancient Northwest Semitic languages. For example, Ugaritic has only 4 Egyptian loanwords with 21 occurrences. It is carried by something like teket, the word for ship, which occurs 18 times, and the other 3 each occur only once. They're about 2,000 Ugaritic texts. That means that, and since there are 21 occurrences of Egyptian loanwords, at most 21 of the texts have Egyptian loanwords in them. That means that over 98% of all Ugaritic texts contain no occurrences of Egyptian loanwords at all. In Phoenician, there's only one Egyptian loanword known for sure in the entire language. We only know of one definite Egyptian loan, and it occurs 3 times across all of the Phoenician inscriptions we have. 2 of those are in the same papyrus from Egypt, and I think it dates to around the 4th or 3rd century BC, which isn't really good. So there are 10,000 Phoenician inscriptions. Only 2 of them have any Egyptian loanwords at all, and neither of them has more than 2 occurrences of Egyptian loanwords. So in comparison to the level of Egyptian linguistic influence on the Book of Exodus, the level of Egyptian influence on the Ugaritic and Phoenician languages is almost completely non-existent by comparison, and the amount of Egyptian linguistic influence on the Moabite, Ammonite, and Edomite languages actually does look completely non-existent, as none of them have any known examples of Egyptian loanwords. Old Aramaic from before 700 BC has 2 Egyptian loanwords and 20 occurrences. When we get into Imperial Aramaic, that's from 700 to 300 BC, a lot more appear. There's 44 Egyptian loans, and in total, 483 occurrences, accounting for 0.203 of the total Imperial Aramaic corpus. However, this is still much lower than the rate of Egyptian loanwords in the Book of Exodus, which is 1.391%. Even if including Leviticus and Numbers, so that's Exodus 2 Numbers, and by the way, Leviticus and Numbers, between them are very long. They only have 48 occurrences of Egyptian loanwords combined. So adding that to Exodus, the rate is still 0.591%, which is almost 3 times the rate for the Imperial Aramaic corpus. But that's not all. 186 of the Egyptian loans in Imperial Aramaic are found in texts that were written in Egypt itself. In fact, 42 of the 44 loans appear only in such Egyptian Aramaic texts. there are only two that also appear in Aramaic texts that were written outside of Egypt. And those two are like the words Hatam and Gob and Kob. And together they appear about 297 times outside of Egyptian Aramaic inscriptions. So that's why the mythicist position just doesn't work. So the only ones left are the early date, the mid date, and the late date, because we knocked out the super early and super late dates in episode 1.